guys, welcome back to the 12 Days of Foundation. Believe it or not, we are on day number 11 today, meaning I have tested out 10 different foundations. I will link to them all down below, and early in the new year I plan on doing a roundup now that I've had some time to wear foundations a little bit more and give you a really good idea of what I think of all of them, rank them, let you know if I truly think they're good for oily skin, normal, combo, all that good stuff. Today we are going to be testing out a Sephora collection foundation, and this is the Sephora Perfection Mist Airbrush Foundation. Now in YouTube time, you watched me do the Dior Airflash yesterday. In my time, it's actually been a couple days. So if you would like to see like a side-by-side comparison of this foundation versus the Airflash, let me know down below because I can give you a general idea, but in all honesty, it's been a couple days. I've got a cold now, so I just want to make sure I'm able to give you as accurate of a comparison as possible. But let's go ahead and get into testing this guy. This foundation can of course be found at Sephora. It's part of their in-house brand Sephora collection, which I feel like can get a little bit overlooked at times, but this is something that I have wanted to test out for years. No idea why I never jumped on it, but I did pick it up recently during the Sephora VIB sale. I'm wearing mine in the shade Honey, and I'm about an NC42, NC43 in MAC. You get 2.5 fluid ounces in here, and although that seems like a ton of product because that's more than double the size of an average liquid foundation, it does come in a different format, therefore you're probably going to end up using a little bit more. I don't have much experience with airbrush foundation, so you can let me know down below if they truly do last longer. I'm not sure, but that is what I'm guessing why they come in a little bit of a bigger size. It's $35 Canadian and $28 American. I think that's a pretty good price, especially when you're comparing it to some of the other more higher end items that are inside of Sephora, especially when you compare it to the Dior Airflash. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my skin, do the exact same thing as I did yesterday. So I will spray it on a brush and then spray it on my face and kind of pounce it in with a beauty blender. As I mentioned in the Dior video, on an average day I'm probably not just gonna like spray it all over my face, and I do want to play around with coverage and really give you guys a good idea of how it applies to my skin. And I'm heading to work, so like I don't have time to be like cleaning up myself if I get like foundation all over myself. So let's get into the application. On the Sephora website, it says it is an airbrush foundation with an ultra-fine mist for flawless makeup results at home. Blurs imperfections seamlessly and controls shine for up to 10 hours with this satin finish foundation. The weightless micro-fine pigments of InstaBlend technology ensure color lays down smooth and seamless, so you can build to your desired coverage level, from light to full, for a flawless look every time. Mineral-rich algae extract protects the skin from environmental stresses and helps smooth the skin for a soft focus airbrush finish that lasts. Formulated without parabens, sulfates, and phthalates. It's also oil-free, non-comedogenic, dermatologist tested, and not tested on animals. I've built this up to a medium coverage, and the finish is as described, definitely a satin or demi-matte finish. It sets basically immediately, so if you don't have oily skin, you can probably get away without powdering. I always powder no matter what, but I'm not using a primer or a setting spray today, and I don't honestly on an average day because I'm too lazy. But I love the way this looks. It feels super lightweight on the skin, no real scent, nothing that is lingering, and it describes itself as having a light to full coverage depending on how much you build it up. So definitely you can go in really light with this if you just want to kind of slightly even out your skin tone. I've built it up to about a medium. I think to get it to full, it is going to take a bit of work, but that being said, it just looks so good on the skin. This is the kind of finish and the kind of coverage that I look for on a daily basis, and it is very easy to apply. You'll notice in the application that I kind of ditched the beauty blender. I definitely prefer applying this one with a straight to the brush. You get more coverage, it's faster, and then just kind of stipple the brush onto your skin and buff it out a little bit. That's how you're going to get the most coverage out of it, but it blends like a dream. Basically it blends itself. So I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup now, and then I will show you how it looks in photos. I have the rest of my makeup on now, and I'm absolutely loving the way it looks. It's definitely a true medium. It's not like a full medium or anything like that. I can still see my freckles, but everything that I want covered is covered. which is like exactly what you want in a foundation. I love the way it looks on my skin. Everything applied on top of it really nicely, even my cream concealer. Although the foundation had set, it's not like a powdery, like a true powdery finish, so I had no issues putting on anything over top of it. In photos, I think that it looks really good. It doesn't list itself as having any kind of SPF in there, so in my studio lighting, it looks great. And then in a flash photo, it does not necessarily give me a little bit of a flashback, but it does look slightly lighter, but I still think it looks awesome. I'd be happy to take pictures with this. It looks super natural and flawless. So I'm gonna go on about my day and check back with you guys at the end of it. It is currently 7:25. I am back and it is now 4:44 p.m. I think that this foundation held up fabulously. It has worn away slightly right here because it is very cold today and I was outside twice and my scarf was kind of wearing against my skin, and it has worn away a little bit here. As I mentioned, I'm suffering from a bit of a cold flu thing, so I did blow my nose a couple times, but otherwise I don't feel like I need to blot. I don't feel like I need to powder. Everything has stayed in place. Blush, bronzer, highlight looks great, and it doesn't feel oily on my skin at all. Sometimes things can like look oily and feel oily. Sometimes they feel oily and don't look oily, but this just like looks perfect. One thing I do want to mention though is I am using the new Covergirl matte setting powder, and I feel like this actually truly does help keep my skin matte. A lot of powders out there will help mattify and they might help a little bit, but from what I've been using this with, it seems like it actually does a great job. I will link to it down below. But that being said, this is not a first impression of this foundation. I have worn it before and it has worn really well throughout the day. I feel like I did blot slash powder a little bit, but that was also when it wasn't so cold outside. So everyone's gonna have a different reaction to every single foundation, but I do love the way that this applied. I love that it had buildable coverage. It feels very lightweight, looks incredibly natural on the skin, and held up really well. No matter what powder I use, it's not gonna completely negate any oiliness that's going to come through on account of a foundation that just can't hold up. But I did just want to mention that that powder has been doing a really good job helping give a little bit more lasting power to my foundations. This is something that I feel like I could wear for a lot more hours, but that being said, I've got a cold and I'm going to be putting on my onesie right now and having some tea and just doing absolutely nothing. So I am going to wash my face, but if this was a regular day and I was feeling a-okay, I would totally leave this on my skin. Huge win, really happy with this. Another great success of the 12 days of foundation. I will link to the rest of my reviews down below, and I can't remember if I mentioned this morning, but I will do a whole roundup in early January to let you know what I thought of everything. We still have one day left though, so be sure to stick around for the 12th day of the 12 days of foundation. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!